Once upon a time, in a small village surrounded by tall mountains, there lived a boy named Max. Max was curious, and he loved to explore the woods near his home. The villagers often told stories of strange things hidden deep in the forest, but Max didn't believe in any of them. He thought they were just made-up tales to keep children from going too far. One sunny afternoon, Max decided to go into the woods. He grabbed his backpack, filled it with snacks, and set off on his adventure. As he walked through the trees, the air smelled fresh, and the birds chirped happily above him. Max wandered deeper and deeper, until he reached a part of the forest he had never seen before. It was quiet here, much quieter than the rest of the woods. Suddenly, something shiny caught his eye. Max looked down and saw a small key lying on the ground. It was made of old, rusted metal, and it looked very out of place. "I wonder what this opens," Max thought to himself. He picked it up and slipped it into his pocket. As Max stood up, he noticed a path hidden behind some bushes. He had never seen this path before. Something about it seemed magical. Without thinking too much, Max followed the path. The deeper he went, the stranger things seemed. The trees grew thicker, and the air became cooler. After a while, he came to a big old door, standing alone in the middle of the forest. The door was made of wood, but it looked ancient, like it had been there for hundreds of years. Max felt a shiver run down his spine. "This must be what the key is for," he thought, pulling the rusty key from his pocket. His hands shook a little as he walked up to the door and inserted the key into the lock. To his surprise, the key turned easily, and the door creaked open. Inside, Max saw a dimly lit room, filled with strange objects, books with strange symbols, glowing stones, and old maps. But what caught his eye was a large, wooden chest sitting in the corner of the room. It was locked, just like the door. Max walked over and tried to open it, but there was no keyhole. Instead, there was a small button on the front of the chest. Max pressed the button, and to his amazement, the chest began to open by itself. Inside was a bright, glowing stone. The moment he touched it, a soft voice echoed in the room saying, "You have found the stone of truth. It will show you what is hidden." Max didn't know what that meant, but the glowing stone felt warm in his hands. As soon as he held it, the room seemed to change. The walls shimmered, and Max could see images of people and places that weren't there before. He saw his village, but it looked different, like it had been in the past, long before he was born. He saw people in the village doing things that no one talked about. It was as if the stone was showing him secrets. Max's heart raced. What was happening? Why was the stone showing him these things? Then he saw something even stranger. In the image, he saw a man standing in front of the door Max had just opened. The man was holding the same key Max had found on the ground. Max realized that the key was important. It had been waiting for someone to find it, and now he knew why. The stone glowed brighter, and Max felt a strong pull to leave the room. He quickly placed the stone back in the chest, and the door slammed shut behind him. The path that led to the door was gone, and Max found himself back in the quiet part of the forest where he had first discovered the key. Max stood there, thinking about everything he had seen. He didn't understand all of it, but he knew the stone and the key were special. They had shown him a part of the world that most people never knew about. And now Max had a choice. He could keep the secret to himself, or he could tell someone and change the way the village looked at the world. Max decided to keep the secret, at least for now. He didn't know what would happen next, but he felt like he had just uncovered a mystery that would change his life forever. And so, with the key safely tucked into his pocket and the glowing stone now a memory, Max walked back to the village, knowing that he had discovered something that no one else ever would.